my show.
I'm hot.
Here we are, season 6 of Split the Difference. I'm your host Jesse. Today we have our resident our horror hope.
Hi.
She made that a tongue twister on purpose.
Yeah.
It's
And
Jesse's fault. He bought me the fucking hoodie where it originated from.
Oh, he made it canon. Jesse!
the cannon. Yeah,
Yes, so
you have
he
the
can't
you have the
blame me.
canonizer. Get the canonizer.
Where's the canonizer? It's in a drawer somewhere. Oh, actually, I think I used it on actual crabs recently.
Oh wow, how about that? And that is our Pitchmaster General, Seth.
Hi, everybody.
Here we are again, season 6. How'd we get this far?
Yeah, season 666. This one's going to be great.
Yeah, it's a good season coming up. Today, to start off our season, we're talking about one that was recommended by Seth because I didn't know one of these existed. We're talking about Cube, the original film from 1997, directed by Vincenzo Natali, versus the 2021 remake, Japanese remake, directed by Yasuhiko Shimizu.
Hold on, let me pull
I
it up.
swear
so I
that's
can-
Yasuhiko Shimizu.
That sounds close.
That sounds close.
Yasuhiko
Close enough.
Shimizu.
Yes. I swear I will
Okay.
get it. It will roll off the tongue one day. So, I didn't know
allow
the
your
Japanese
whiteness
remake.
to slide today.
Let the whiteness come through today. So, I didn't know the Japanese remake existed, so I said, well, we're definitely going to put this into there because I like the original, and I was like, let's see what the remake's like.
Right.
Let's start with the original. So, who saw this when it first came out?
I would have been a little young to see this one in theaters. I know I saw it too young also because I think I saw it shortly after 9/11, if I remember correctly.
Oh, perfect time.
Right?
Perfect
Yeah.
I love how that's a dating mechanism. Pre 9/11, post 9/11.
It's the millennial BC and AD. You know, like that's all we got. Um,
I thought it was when the Pokemon movie came out, but that's me.
yeah. Okay, that's right around the same
Pre-
time.
Post Pokemon movie.
Right.
Jesus. What about you, Hope?
I'm with Seth. I didn't see it when it first came out. I saw it later on. Mainly just because it originally didn't interest me. I don't know. It took me a while to get around to it actually, just because I was like, I don't know, and
Well,
once I actually watched it, I liked it, but
there was no internet back then that we could run to find out enough about it to even know.
Yeah, it's not even a traditional horror film. It's not like a kill a minute. It's more of a thriller than anything else.
It's got a lot of Stephen King energy.
Yeah, like characters trapped in a room try to find their way out of the room. With regards to low budget filmmaking, if you have one set, this is something you can do with it.
Yeah.
It's a testament to just locking characters in a room and making it interesting. So I had seen the original years and years ago, and I liked it, although I think we all agree the acting in the movie is not great.
It's a little hammy. I'll give you that.
Yeah. It's not like The Room, it's not that bad, but there are moments where there's.
You just went from one extreme to another, baby.
Give me a movie with bad acting that's not The Room. Give me another example.
Velocipaster.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ! You just went down to the depths of hell. Just we're scraped bedrock for bad acting. There it is.
But Velocipaster's bad on purpose.
That's true. I don't think they were trying to be bad on purpose in this film.
No, and this budgetarily kind of falls in the same grouping as a Blue Ruin. You know what I mean? This is a very, very similar kind of setup and palette, and they're taking it just as seriously. I think we've just learned a little bit more about realistic acting since then.
Yeah. I mean, this is what happens when you have a low budget. You hire actors that aren't as skilled, or you have to. You have to make a script as quickly as possible to get the production going or something like that.
I'm not sure if it's lack of actor skill. Like, we recognize some of these actors from other things. Like, this is what low budget filmmaking ends up looking like.
It's a bunch of that guys. Like,
yeah.
A lot of these people in other stuff. They're always
Stargate.
Like,
I know Stargate, right? Which one of the Stargates?
Oh my God.
Yeah, the Stargate guy.
Because I was such a fan of OG Stargate versus Atlantis, because that's what he's from, is Stargate Atlantis.
Yeah.
I know him. Fucking know him. And I had to look it up. I was like, that's why, because it was Atlantis.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, I'm more of a, MacGyver and Tilt guy.
SG-1? Yeah, okay.
Wayne Robson, the guy that played the Wren, the like criminal, he's been in like a bunch of shit. He's definitely one of those. Oh, that guy.
Yeah. There's a good documentary. It's called I think it was called That Guy and That Thing. It's about 10 different actors that are just.
I know that face or something.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking. Yeah, it's about like character actors and shit.
Yeah. People that everyone knows who they are, but they're not like big names. Like, they're always in like something here or there, and there's like, yeah, I know that guy. Yeah, I'm sure one of these people was in that. But I will say, I mean, I said last season we weren't going to do any more clone movies.
This isn't necessarily a clone movie.
Yeah, here's the thing though. You can only get so creative when it's just characters trapped in a room.
Right.
So it's not really a clone movie. They did as much as they could with the remake. So I guess we can go back and forth talking about these because they're similar enough, but it's not an exact clone. It's not 1-to-1. Like, first off, the remake is about 15 minutes longer, which is like
yes. And I can tell you exactly where that 15 minutes went.
Yeah, yeah. I think we'll have the same opinion about that. But I'd also say that technologically the remake is obviously better because it's made 20 years later. So it's from a visual standpoint, the remake is clearly going to look better. But there are things in the original that I do like more.
I agree.
Yeah. I think there's more like authenticity to the material and the approach with like all the practical effects in the original, whereas the remake feels clinical.
Really, the remake really relies a lot on CGI.
That's more of a cultural, like, Japanese thing.
Sure.
Like, they do a lot of practical effects, but usually it's practical effects are like an art form there. So they're just trying to bust out a movie. They're not going to spend time on practical effects. Whereas over here, it's like, oh, we have no budget practical effects. Where it's there, it's like, we have a budget practical effects. Yeah.
They want to invest it to make it look good. And I get it. And part of it too is like, the topic material is now over 20 years old, almost 25 years from when the first one came out to this remake. So like, I'm happy to see the updates. Some of the stuff I was like, interesting choice, interesting new one. And I think I end up liking the kills more in the original just because of I think it's that no budget tenacity of like, oh yeah, we want to dice a guy and we want to burn something, and they want to go through the whole list.
I was gonna say the opening kill I preferred in the original.
Oh yeah, I think the opening all around is a little better in the original because it even sets up the idea that like how the problems will be solved later in the movie. This guy's actively already doing them, so it kind of sets you up to like feel the pacing of these scenes as it comes up later. Yeah, I think I prefer the original too.
Yeah, it's also worth noting that this original film definitely inspired a bunch of things. That first kill, the laser kill. Remember in the Resident Evil movie when Colin Salmon gets diced up by the laser grid?
Oh yeah.
It's the same scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I mean, you guys ever seen that show Squid Game? You ever seen those movies, those Saw movies? Combine those two together, you got this. Like, this clearly inspired things like Squid Game and Saw. And
yeah.
This definitely, which is odd because it's not like a super well-known film. It's known, but it's not like considered
a cult classic.
Yeah.
It's a cult classic. Yeah, which is interesting. It inspired these little things here and there that became bigger franchises.
So this
is weirdly a franchise. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to do with these. I've seen every Cube film now thanks to this podcast. I've never seen the prequel. I've never seen the sequel. So
fill us in a little bit about
Yeah,
this.
I was like, this is a series. Like,
yeah,
don't know why.
So the loose trappings of the sequels, Hypercube is the next chronological sequel and is the furthest into the future I think these movies get until this one. Where they're actually dealing with their cube is in a different dimension entirely, and so they're dealing with like really kind of weird sci-fi setups. Like there's a room where time dilates and it happens while two people are fucking, so they get old while they're fucking and die. It's like the sequels are all about creative kills. Like they took the concept of the original, hey, we're trapped in this giant Rubik's Cube with trap rooms, and then they just run in any direction that they want from there.
Basically give it some acid and go with the ride.
Yeah. The Hypercube is the acid sequel, and then Cube Zero is
I heard this is the bad one.
This is the bad one. This is the prequel that sets up our character.
Not seen this one.
Yeah, so Kazan from the original.
Yeah.
In Cube Zero, it turns out that he used to work for the shadowy organization that created the cube, and he intervened with a previous experiment because they were doing it on a mother who didn't deserve to be there. And then he gets a brain injury, and that's why he is the way he is in the original, because I guess they wanted to pivot away from it being a mental disability, and so they made it a brain injury instead.
That's even worse.
Listen, this is the early 2000s. I don't know how much I expected them to be good at navigating this. I'm just delivering what the plots of these stories are.
If you're going to do a prequel, I would have thought it'd been about Worth, the guy that created the cubes, the architect of the cube.
Yeah, you would think.
I would think.
He wasn't really an architect. He was like more just like a drone, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's just to flesh out the middle of this movie too, which I think in both films they suffer from a little sway back in the middle, you know, a little sag through the middle as it becomes obvious that like the drama has to get drummed up in order to keep the story going, because they didn't know exactly what to do with any of these endings? Question mark?
Yeah.
Yeah. That goes into something I want to talk about that I don't like with the remake, which is that there's an excessive usage of flashbacks to pad out runtime, and there's a little bit of an elongated ending with the remake where Yuchio apparently survives somehow.
Yeah, I did not like that. I'm like, dude should be dead.
Right.
You got
Right.
impaled and spiked through at least 7 different orifices, then dropped.
Violently. That was a John Wick fall.
Yeah, that's, and then there's also the woman that it turns out she's like an android or something.
See, that's the lore building I was okay with. I was like, all right, that at least gets me wanting to rewatch this and like recheck her decisions as to why she does things. I don't.
She doesn't speak.
Right. Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, it's better than the mental disability character from the first movie.
But it also adds another layer to the Japanese film because she's the only woman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas in the original, it was like 50-50.
I also thought them including a kid, they were going to go more hardcore for some reason. I thought it was like, oh, hey, we're fucked up enough to put a kid in this situation. And then the rest of the movie is just kind of a little tame overall, I thought, in comparison, which that's
compared to the first one where like the cop is like, I'm going to murder this girl.
Which accurate portrayal of cops, if we're being
Yeah. And also he's like, oh, I know I have a wife and kids or whatever, but I'll have dinner with you. Like,
right.
I mean, was it Holloway? Was that her name? Was that the doctor? Remind me her name. That's another thing.
Yeah, Holloway.
Holloway. Yeah, she calls him a pig, and I was like, "Yep, accurate." Yeah, it's the biggest issue I have with the remake or the original is that the big, like you were saying, the padding of the drama, the
Mm.
flip of the main character. It turns out he's actually just like a corrupt cop. I mean, he could be lying for all we know. Like he says he's a cop. Like he could just be a rapist. We don't know.
Mm.
There's no proof to him anything he says.
The only thing is when he's like, "Oh, that's Ren. We've been having him wanted on these charges."
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Like, unless you're also like a high-level criminal or whatever, like you're not gonna know a fucking dossier on this dude.
Yeah, it was a little convenient.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's characters stuck in a room. You gotta just make do with what you have. You know, it kind of makes sense that the characterizations are a little kind of baseline. It's like it's this character and this character, stick them together, see how they bounce off each other. Yeah.
They really fit stereotypes in that original one. Like they're really like casting a big wide like this is what diversity looks like as the late 90s net.
Yeah,
genius math girl who just invented STEM basically.
Right.
We have black cop because we can't have a white cop.
Yeah.
You have hippy dippy doctor woman.
Karen.
God damn it.
You have old
white
man.
bread guy.
I was gonna say old man criminal.
Okay, yeah.
He ends up being my favorite character through a lot of it. I love the Ren. He's just like, listen, you broke bitches. Like, I'm getting out of here some way. I'm gonna find my way.
And the fact he was just like, he was talking to the doctor. She's like, we're gonna run out of this and that, and he's like, let's fucking do this.
Yeah.
Like,
suck on it.
Yeah.
Not my dick, the button, obviously.
I don't want you near that. God.
Right. Oh my God.
I do appreciate
class bitches.
I do appreciate the fact they never explain what the hell the cube is. I'm very because that's the thing that you're saying with the prequel is that they explain what the shadowy organization is and the reason why the cube exists. Like, I don't want to know. I really don't. Like, it's not important.
Yeah.
Like, it's. You know what it would have been better with the first Saw movie if it was just in that one room and those two characters.
You know, functionally, that's what the short film was too. That's what they were pitching. When you go for your feature film, you do have to find a way to pad it out. Like there's not a lot of movies that can operate that way. Like when Buried was really stretching stuff to hit that like exactly 80-minute mark.
Is that the Ryan Reynolds Buried under a...
Yeah.
I have not seen this film, but apparently there's a film similar called Oxygen.
Ooh.
Oh, I've seen it. It's okay.
Like a girl, and she's like trapped in like a pod, and the pod's running out of oxygen. So.
Yeah, Adrian Brody plays a creepy serial killer. It's okay. It's not great. Yeah, the way in which he gets out of jail when they catch him, he intentionally gets himself caught. It's the Joker thing. He's basically just the Joker.
Oh.
And the way he hides a what are those things you put in your little hair?
Oh, bobby pin. Yeah.
Bobby pin. He hides it under his fingernail and then pulls his fingernail off to get the bobby pin out. It's like, that's not physically possible, but okay.
Ugh. It's gross regardless.
Super fucking painful.
But it's like the pin is longer than the... never mind. Whatever. But anyways,
he doesn't bend his fucking finger.
I don't remember. I need to rewatch it.
Yeah. That like, I feel like if you're gonna show that off functionally, you have to explain why he's not bending his finger at all.
I'll have to rewatch
the
it.
cube.
Anyway.
So, I guess just like the simplistic question is, what was everybody's favorite kill in the movie?
Oh yeah. Oh, like that's the obvious question, right?
That's half the joy of these movies is what's your favorite kill.
So okay, I need to give a little backstory on why my kill is my favorite kill. So.
Okay.
Do tell.
As we've briefly explored across these podcasts, I had a weird upbringing, and so these kinds of movies were not on the plate for me to watch as a young guy. However, Cube did get watched by me as a young guy. I did get to see this, I think when I was either 12 or 13. I know it was close to 9/11, so it was somewhere around that time. And
you're still using that as a marker of time.
Listen, I remembered that the reason 9/11 was specific there because my parents were meeting with my friend's parents about something to do with homeschooling, and it was related to 9/11, and that's why we were left alone in a basement with this friend who had Cube because his parents didn't give a fuck what he watched. So I'm like 13, and the scene where the spray acid happens had me fucked up for years. Just the I would have like nightmares of my skin just like sloughing off as I was touching it, and they got so graphic with it in the movie. And rewatching it as an adult, I was like, that's the best. Like, oh, what a beautiful kill. And it's probably just all fucking like Vaseline and shit, you know what I mean? It's just your brain that's running away with it. But oh, I love the acid kill. What about you, Hope? You're like really particular about these kind of kills in movies.
I am, because I love horror, but I'm not necessarily like a slasher fiend, because with my background,
it's real.
Shit for me. It's normal, yeah. I would have to say, I really loved the very first intro kill. I do. And I think it's because they took the most time with it. Because you saw, it was like, it made me think of like Ghost Ship.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Slice, and then it took a while for it to like, and I think it also made me think of Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah.
The scene in Dragon Ball Z where Trunks comes back from the future and he slices up Frieza. And then Frieza's like, "You didn't do anything, you puny Saiyan." And then he's like,
right.
So I think it just like spoke to me more because of like that kind of thing.
It would have been so easy to do that scene with CGI, and they committed to doing the individual cubed sections.
Practical, and I liked that a lot because they stuck with practical, and they did like I said, it was like a very dramatic like of the pieces. Yeah. So that was my favorite.
What a proof of concept.
The CGI version is in the first Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And, that the shitty version.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, let's not do it for real. Let's just do it with CGI. Well, it looks like shit. And it's not scary.
Damn.
I'd say my favorite is the one no one's gonna pick is when what was the cop's name? Remind me his name.
Oh shit. McNeil.
McNeil when he lets.
It was Quentin.
Yeah, Quentin McNeil.
Yeah. When he lets Holloway drop outside in the void, because you never hear her hit the ground.
Yeah.
There's a level of like eldritch horror to this original one where it's like, wow, this for all you know, this
darkness.
It just disappears. Like you never hear anything hit the ground.
Right.
It's like fallen forever. Like,
yeah, they calculate the bottom of it in the remake like really quick, and that was like, yeah, I get it, and they're not going to show what happened either, so I guess it does. They kept a little bit of the mystery, but yeah, I agree that like it's got the Mario effect of like when you fall into the bottomless pits in a side scroller, and you're like, oh, this is where you go. You just fall down into the cubes.
And you just go and go and go forever and ever and ever.
Well, that and it kind of showed Quentin like. It was starting to show who he was.
Oh, yeah.
And then you saw in her face, like, she's like, yeah, she accepted the fate, kind of. She didn't like it, but she also accepted it, and it's like, damn.
Yeah, because it's almost like a nicer death than anything you'd hit in one of the boxes, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Free skydiving, and then bloop.
Well, and that's assuming there's a bottom, you know what I mean? That, like Jesse's saying, maybe she's still falling.
And if you fall long enough, eventually you pass out anyway, so you wouldn't even feel it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Homestar Runner?
No.
Homestar Runner was this internet series, and anyways, he had this character that said, if you fall into a bottomless pit, you die of starvation. That's just like the best quote that I've ever heard.
I mean...
In the clip, they pour a bunch of Cheetos into a bottomless hole after a character that fell in. to make sure she can eat.
Great. That's great.
Can I have one Cheeto?
Oh my god, that's brilliant. Oh Jesus Christ, I gotta look that up.
Oh my god, yeah. So
That just makes me think of the Who's line. It was like things you don't want to happen when you pull like your ripcord, and Greg Proops is like he pulls his ripcord for the parachute. He's like, no shoot, but miniature Snickers, and he's like trying to grab the Snickers midair, and he can't even grab the Snickers. He's like, I'm gonna die without Snickers.
oh no. That's so funny.
God.
So we mentioned the Android twist in the remake earlier. How did that strike you guys?
I was mixed about that.
Yeah, same. I feel like the ending of the original and the remake should have been the same, where the kid just kind of walks off into the light.
No, I thought it was going to cut there. I was like so sure it was going to cut there.
Yeah.
Same.
We get 3 endings though.
I was about to say, I knew something was up. Like, obviously she was a little off to begin with, but I definitely knew something was up when the 3 of them are in the other room, like, fighting for their lives, and she's just chilling there, like, la, 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 la.
Yeah, like she's observing them. Yeah. It's I mean for the adding something new in here, I could see worse things being added.
Oh yeah.
Like if they said this was like a facility made by aliens, then I'd be like, yeah, fuck you. Like then I'd be like out the door. I'm like, yeah, no. Apparently
that was the original ending to the first one. They wanted to cut to like an alien landscape with just thousands of cubes hovering over top of it, and it was an overnight kind of abduction, and now we're all stuck in our own cube gauntlets. I'm kind of glad they cut it.
Yeah, let me guess. Budget is the reason they didn't do it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't need an explanation really. Like they kind of hint at one in the remake, but I don't feel like it's necessary. The movie feels done when that kid's walking off towards the light. Like,
right.
You're done. You don't need any more.
Again, like we all said, I think part of it is the middle part is like, dude should have died. Why is he still alive?
Right.
Yeah, like
what
also,
is his purpose to be alive still?
Yeah, and also like the remake violates the rules of the cube itself, because it's stated that the traps don't pass through rooms. But then you get to the end of the movie, it's like, oh, there's that giant like spike that's jumping from one room to the other.
Oh yeah.
Like they just broke their own rule. It's like, okay, because I mean, it was pretty awesome when that dude got impaled and got turned into a Christmas tree. That is kind of cool. Yeah.
See, I wasn't sure what was happening there at first, and I thought we were being exposed to like whatever technological beings ran the cube. Like I thought they were showing off like alien life to us. Yeah.
Like I thought it was gonna be her or something like.
Right.
These people win the round. Fuck off. Like.
Maybe we're film rescuing this as we're talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I mean, it's not a big change. Just like obey the rules of the story.
Yeah. They definitely broke him passing through there, and so like I wonder if that's an intentional choice to make us ask questions here, or if that is just sloppiness because they needed it to look cool, Yeah. Otherwise, why would the room be changing just then? That was another thing too. Like by the end, are we partway within their psychosis, and like that's why the room lights are affected by emotion, seemingly, and by the end there.
Yeah.
I think it's also because since they incorporated that like AI host or whatever, or Android host.
Yeah.
She would sense, since she's there visualizing and recording the data, like she could sense it and maybe alter the rooms to that.
Interesting. God damn it, I might watch this a second time just for the twist.
That's what I think, because now that I know that she's a part of the cube, and anytime it changed, she was in the room.
Yeah.
Or like very close to it, so like she could see and like record the visualizations, be like, oh well, this doesn't have a trap, but so-and-so's acting up, so I have to activate something in order to put them, because apparently it's like a test. Obviously, it's not just like just like punish those. Like it's like, oh, and the fact that it said, I don't know if it's because it's a Japanese to English translation or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they said completed. Like so, death equals completed.
Yeah. Like I'm trying to even like kind of backtrace what the android payoff is saying. Like if that's ultimately who is putting us into these cubes, it still hasn't really answered why. And then like if the
why have it?
Kind of, because the end, the kid, he just didn't trust anybody, didn't do anything, and then at the end he's like,
I get it.
I'm the one who has to change. I have to put the change into the world, not the world changes for me. And then she's like, Pat, good boy, go on. Like he learned his lesson, type of deal.
It feels like a response to the Saw films.
Well, it's
because it's like
the Saw films were inspired by this, actually.
But I mean, like in terms of this version of it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I follow.
Yeah, like Jigsaw is like he wants to teach people a lesson to be better people. It's like so making them do horrible things to each other and show what they're actually are as human beings. The only one that gets out of the room is the one that's the most innocent.
Yeah.
So I guess that was their intention. It doesn't quite work because
and to
really
use a younger, more attractive person than old John Kramer.
Right. So the, I guess I'm still are they trying to insinuate that they're like this is the like technological afterlife where you're based on your actions? Like I guess I'm still not following exactly the like methodology behind androids with superior tech wanting to punish people. Like it sounds like God with extra steps.
Maybe this is the bad place. Who knows?
Listen.
God damn it, Seth.
I did set him up for that. There are an odd amount of like weird catwalks in the bad place that could house cubes, you know?
Yeah. Oh, is there a gift shop? Jason, this is hell. Of course there's a gift shop. Favorite joke.
Dude,
I thought it would have been the Transformers thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We make them watch Transformers over and over again. That's Seth's hell when he took an edible and watched Transformers 3.
That would straight up be my hell.
Oh,
Dude, finding out that he had serious professional meetings around parts of the movie that made me implode really angers me. That really makes me angry.
What else do you expect from demons? Yeah. So I think the biggest issue I have with the remake is the consistent flashbacks.
Yeah, and that's where all the extra time went.
That's like the extra 10 to 15 minutes because the original was a tight 90. As I've always said, I always appreciate a tight 90. You can feel the length of the remake because those extra like 10 to 15 minutes are completely superfluous.
Yeah,
they don't really add anything.
How many times do we have to see the same kid jump off the building? You know what I mean? Like, I think it gets replayed like 4 times.
Yeah, it's replayed for like 4 times. Yeah.
My thing is like, okay, if you're gonna do that for one person, do it for all of them.
Yeah, why not do it for all of them? Why just this one person? Are all these other people not important? Like, are you telling me that everybody else is just like there to be killed?
Yeah.
Right, or is it just because like the innocent kid has an attachment to him and like the connection is he lost his little brother so he pictures this kid as his new little brother or something? But even still, like it felt very out of place. Like you could have just left it as you could have said 3 sentences. Well, I'm gonna protect you because I lost my little brother. Done. Move on.
Yeah.
And even then, that's not really how human psychology works, but, whatever.
Right, but it would have been better than an extra 20 minutes of unnecessary facts.
Right.
I mean, the Rotten Tomatoes score of this remake, there is no critic score, which is never a good sign. The actual fan score is audience score is 14%.
Wow.
Do you think it deserves that?
No, I don't think it deserves a 14%. I think it's much more like functionally made than that.
Yeah, I think
But guess what? What's the remake?
Japanese.
Who runs Rotten Tomatoes?
Warner Brothers. It's
no,
American.
idiot. Americans.
Well, Warner Brothers is in charge of Rotten Tomatoes. But yeah.
But I was getting to the point. It's Americans.
Yeah,
Americans are lazy. They don't do subtitles. They don't do foreign cultures.
Yeah.
Oh, and some of the performances in the remake, I think, were arguably better. Like the
Oh yeah.
the guy that
But that's what I'm saying. It's because it's an American audience rating a Japanese film.
right.
It could be the most greatest film on the freaking planet, but if an American watches it, they're like, "What? Why do I go to read it?" Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, from a visual standpoint, it's better looking than the original film.
Yeah.
I mean, it's much better.
Technology.
Oh,
I know.
I do.
But not just that.
I do
Not
like
just
the
that.
crazy design of the cube in the original better. Like the really alien looking markings on the walls. I think the insides of the cube look better in the original. The set design's a little better in the original.
Yeah, but the
They're
lighting
also going
is
with like a sleek design in the new one to
Yeah.
represent, like the tech.
Yeah.
Because you see more actual tech with the second
Right.
remake.
Yeah, but I will say that the lighting is a lot stronger in the remake,
Mm.
and it like the sound and the music, the fidelity is much higher. It's from a technical standpoint, the remake is superior, but but because that 90-minute runtime is all you need, it does feel like it's long. I would never put this at like 14%. I put it at like 50-60%. It's not a bad film by any stretch. It's just there's not a lot of room to work with. You could say this is in the same universe as the other three, and there's nothing to negate that. You could say that.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, they're not really connected overall beyond the idea of the cube. Like I know Zero has some like tissue that it's trying to attach into the first one, but like
fix the problem of the first one.
Well, yeah, and like again, like it fixes the problem by being like the corniest one of the three. Like the performances in that are like closer to Who Framed Roger Rabbit than they are to like anything in these other movies that we get. Like the third one's corny. This is like a serious entry, and I kind of appreciate it kind of taking a like, all right, well, let's us take a swing at it. What if it's technology driven? What if it's more performance driven? The like Holloway counterpart Shinji in the remake, when he freaks at the end before they all go apeshit, like that is a genuinely good performance. That's I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Another thing too is you have to put it in the aspect where it was an older gentleman with because Japanese are very honor bound and work based. So then you have like this new generation, like that they were polarizing Endo with, the crazy kid, who and how they put those two together. I thought it was a good reflection because it was like the older class Japanese, work hard, put your head down, versus this new generation. So,
yeah, it feels like it has more. A little more professionalism, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Use that, but it does feel like the original is kind of like we're young filmmakers trying to make a movie. Let's just whatever we can do with one room. We have 2 sets, and they're the exact same copies of each other. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it really does feel like they were just trying to get a movie out the door in the original, whereas this remake, it's like they're trying to do something with it. Not entirely successful, but they tried.
What's the Rotten Tomatoes on the original?
The critic score sits, I believe, at around 67%. It is 63% on critic score and 76% for audience, which is it's about what I'd give it. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's good. It's just not amazing. I think the big issue with is that they claim it's a horror movie. It's really not. There's not a kill a minute. It's a thriller.
It's a slasher thriller, yeah.
Yeah, but the slashes, there's only 3-4 people die, and that's it.
Yeah, and each one they're both a little restrained in that way. I think they're a little more unrestrained in how they show the kills, but
yeah, because Holloway, you don't see her die, you just know she's
gone.
Oh, what new kills did you guys like? I want to make sure we ask that before we end from the new one.
I tell you one I don't like. I don't like when Ito-san dies. With the lights where
the lasers.
Oh yeah, that was
like a that was a softball.
That was too easy to dodge, and like he legit set himself up. He's like, well, the
just
lights are gonna go
there.
here. Let me like.
Yeah, that one was too easy to dodge. I'm like, no.
Right.
Yeah.
Did not like that one.
Yeah.
But I did like the spinning fan.
Oh, dude, that one was cool. That was frightening.
The drop down blender.
Yeah. Nobody got killed there though, which is I guess a missed opportunity.
I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, as ridiculous and dumb as it was, I did like the Christmas tree kill. That was kind of awesome at the end when the guy gets a giant like spread of blades shoved through every element of his body. That was kind of cool.
That was wild.
Practical and makes no sense whatsoever because how the hell does that even work? It was cool, I guess.
You know what? It reminded me of those old, like early 2000s American adaptations of J-horror. Like the way they just end kind of way over the top sometimes. It felt like they were...
Remember the kill in the first Silent Hill when Alice Krieg gets the barbed wire, like splits her in half?
Yep.
Literally, it looks the same.
Barbed wire kill. I was thinking the same thing. I think these creators were like, oh yeah, the like early 2000s J-horror and the American adjacent films, that's really our bag. And you could kind of see that shine. Versus the original, I think, is really like Cronenberg centered. They're like, oh, this is... Yeah. These people were watching like fucked up weird sci-fi horror and then had a really, really great like tight idea to run with it.
Mm-hmm. And it's cheap to do as well.
Right.
The most expensive part is probably just the expansion of the sets and some of the CGI. I will say I do prefer Quentin's death in the original, where he's like caught between the door and the cube, and just you don't even see him get cut in half. You just see the smear on the wall, and then it drops.
Yep.
It's like that's great. That's very clever.
I thought they were gonna tease that when they like shove the kid through.
Me too.
He leaves his arm through. I was like, oh, are they going to take the arm at least to get it? And they're like, no. And I'm like, fuck.
That's us being very cynical horror filmmakers, because we would have added that in. We would have sent the kid out holding his brother's arm.
It would have been too much like Jurassic. It would have been too much like Jurassic Park if they had done that.
Hell yeah, that's exactly.
His arm comes through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think these are both decent movies. I don't think that the remake is in any way better, but it's not terrible. Like this does not deserve 14%.
No, yeah, 14%.
Yeah, they're decent in their own ways. They're completely acceptable.
Yeah, I think they're all C's, except for Zero. I think Cube Zero is like an actual D. Like it's a not good movie of the grouping. But like even Hypercube, it's weird. I fucking love a weird movie, man.
I would go back and watch all of them at some point.
Yeah.
It's not any of them are like ew, and I'm good and done. Like I would go back and watch any of these.
Well, like let me ask you guys this: there's a new Saw movie coming out soon.
10.
Yeah.
Technically, what, the 11th or the 12th movie or something like that?
Yeah. How many do we have now? Is it 11 or 12?
12, because they did the remake.
Spiral.
Yeah.
Spiral and Jigsaw are the two like non-numbered ones, right?
Yeah. So this technically is number 12.
Okay. So of the premises of these two franchises, I feel like Cube is the one that should have like 11 movies, and Saw's the one that should have tapped out around 3 or 4.
It should have stopped at 3. It really should have stopped at 3.
Like, I feel like any of us could come up with a good Cube premise. Like, you could really do fun stuff with that. I feel like Saw's the one that's run out, but it's the one that's getting... And I'm going to go see the remake, by the way, because I love these effects. I love watching the kills. Like, that's the point.
I feel at this point for me, it's a love-hate relationship with Saw, because I've seen every single one of them in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I have.
Of course you have.
Except Spiral. I saw that one at home. But the thing is, I hated to go see it in theaters because I'm like, why am I paying money to see this? why the fuck am I doing this?
Were you hate watching all of these?
Everything after 4, I think, was hate watching for me.
Yeah. But I still saw them all in theaters because it was like a completionist tradition at that point.
Which one was the one with the pendulum? Was that 5?
That's 4.
Oh, yeah.
Is that 4?
That's the first kill in 4. Yeah.
That one sucks.
Oh yeah, 4's off the rails. 4's just like, what is happening?
And we get into like, oh well, he had actually like 5 apprentices that didn't know about each other, and
the hell does he have time for this shit?
Listen, when
like,
I don't know about you.
The dying man had time for 5 apprentices and to set up traps and to do all this shit.
And to physically do all this stuff, even though he's clearly not physically capable of doing any of this shit. Okay. All right.
Oh, my favorite is when they do the flashbacks, and to age him down, they just give him a backwards baseball.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hello, fellow children.
Hello, fellow kids.
Dude, I bet Tobin Bell was just cracking jokes all day that day.
Oh god. I hope this last one is hope the next one is the last one. I think he needs to just be like Doug Bradley with the Hellraiser movies, being like, guys, I'm fucking done.
Right.
I don't need any more of this shit.
If they were gonna continue it, I would have thought they would have like gone the Spiral direction. They just continued with that.
Spiral didn't do well enough for them to justify it.
Well, it also came out during COVID.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's still, the reviews were just kind of like, we don't really care.
You mean no one liked McMurray dying?
Dude, that was a great kill too. The tongue.
Yeah. God.
I said that in the theater. I was
4.15 inches anymore.
Dude, I was blasted on edibles in the theater for Spiral, and when motherfucking McMurray walks on the screen, Jesse and I are like turning to each other, just like slapping each other, like, oh, it's McMurray.
That was my first message to you. Was that when I was watching Spiral, was when I was like, oh my fucking god, it's McMurray.
I knew. I had a timer once.
I had watched it, and then I was like, Jesse, you'll never guess, and he's like, what? I was like, I know you don't want to, but.
Dude, first scene out the gate.
5 seconds later, he's like, McMurray! I was like, I know!
And then he gets hit by a train.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's the worst thing that happened to him that day.
God. You don't even see him actually get hit by the train either. Isn't it just like cut away and he cuts to the title or something like that?
Well, it comes back to it later. Yeah, you see the aftermath. Those are the best kills in Saw, are the aftermath kills.
Wow, what the hell happened? Why is his body all over the room? That's weird.
They have to recreate it. I love it.
God. Oh, we're getting off track here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really don't know what else you could do with this as a franchise, because it really is. This really was meant to be a one and done. I can see translating it into different cultures and different languages.
Totally.
That makes sense. Like a simple premise like this is infinitely translatable, because it's just people trapped in a room, work out your bullshit, learn to work together, get out of the room.
Also, I was about to say a big difference too is like in the Japanese one, they all introduce themselves. They say, "Hello, my name is," and like again, that's another cultural thing. Whereas in the first one, they're just like, "Who are you?"
Right.
Like,
oh my god.
Yeah. Well, it's not even. It's Canadian. Isn't this Canadian film?
Yeah. This is Canadian.
Basing on American.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Which is odd. I'm not sure why they didn't just say, "Yeah, we're from like Toronto or something like that." Why do they?
Okay, so I actually know the answer to this.
They don't want crazy people coming from their country.
So yeah, Americans make more interesting movie characters in other parts of the world. Australians hate Australian movies, like with Aussies acting in them. They hate them. They tend to not do well. They love movies with Americans in them, and it's the same up in Canada.
Why do you think Hemsworth came to America?
Right. A lot of Canadians do not like Canadian-made programming for Canadians starring Canadians. They really like stuff that is about Americans.
90% of Hollywood is Canadians.
Yeah, there's a ton of Canadians in Hollywood. So, like, Seth Rogen runs the fucking joint now, and he's not even from here, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Seth Rogen, Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, like they're running the show right now. It's Canadians, man. It's a conspiracy.
Can't blame Canada. You have to appreciate them.
Blame Canada. Yeah, no, I think the cultural resets would be cool. I would personally, though, I would take a couple like higher concept remakes. Like, what about this situation, but it's a bunch of like a high school bus load of kids dumped into a cube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like.
Are you then now talking about Battle Royale?
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Now we get to do a battle royale, or like, what if we did? This is like a bunch of nerds, like a bunch of like engineers dropped into this instead of just one. It's a whole team of engineers, and getting to watch like a kind of Chris Nolan procedural, how to think your way out of the cube. Like, yeah, I think you could do a lot of different versions because part of it is how you solve the problem, and then the other part of it is how you work together and like how you're being effective while you're being like attacked with no obvious attacker.
We're also getting into the escape room movies territory.
Oh, totally. No, absolutely. Escape Room ran with this idea, right? Like they basically said, "What if Cube had themes?"
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, there has been talk of doing an American remake. It has been up in the air for a while now.
Listen, I'll take this one. I'll take this one. Yellow Jackets is doing so well right now. I think a bus full of cheerleaders inside of the cube just sells itself right now. Like, I would love that.
I was thinking a good place to go with Cube is you have a group of like 5 or 6 engineers building the next high-tech version of it, and the people that are funding it decide to make them the first contestants to go in there and test it.
Oh shit!
Like, it's kind of like every corporation that says yes,
their own cube,
but the cube intentionally shifts around. But they
designed it like that though, so that would be tricky.
But
I see what you're going with, but it would be tricky.
A cube you could never escape from. But then they put the engineers in there and be like, okay, if you say it's inescapable, try to escape from it. Because you just put ordinary people in there.
What if they knew that? What if that's the twist? Is they knew that was gonna they knew they were the first team to test it, and they were trying maybe that's an aspect of like. If you're able to solve it and get out, then you haven't made it good enough, and that's why it's like a proto version of the cube.
Yeah,
okay.
Trying to make the most perfect version of it. Yeah, for what purpose? I don't.
Until you eventually lose all your engineers.
Right. No. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Like there's no way to really pay off any of the ideas in this because it is such an impossible conspiracy to keep something like this quiet.
Yeah. And even then, it's like the impracticality of it. The cube is so big; it's like it's impossibly large. Like it's not. How does the thing move around? How does the cubes shift in place? Like physically, it's impossible.
Yeah, that's
high concept. It's high concept, and when it's high concept, you can just don't even think about the engineering. Don't even think about the practicality of it. That's not the point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's like, what is the most sensational thing you can do inside of these cubes? That's what'll really make it sell.
Yeah, like how are these cubes staying attached to each other? It's like it doesn't make any sense if they're staying attached.
What we should each come up with our own kill. That's the real creative twist in doing one of these, right? I'm trying to think of one that I've never seen before, like ever. Just because Sisu, seeing that recently has really set the bar for like how unique can you get with your kills, though.
I got mine.
Go for it.
The floor is lava.
Oh, good one.
The floor is just like boiling hot, and you can't touch it. You have to always hang from the ceiling. And you get really, really tired because you can't get the one door you need to get to is in the floor.
Oh, damn! Solving around lava in the floor, shit.
Or even just like not even just like lava, but just sort of like just the idea of like the floor.
No, totally. It could just be like boiling water, like and anything like that you just can't get inside of.
They did kind of do that in the escape room movie.
I've not seen him. Yeah.
It was an oven, and they had to work together to get to the next room out of there. And by every few seconds, it went up another degrees or whatever. It was legitimately an oven, and they had to get out.
Oh, that's the twist for the remake. Every trap should have one escape. And each person that built a trap knows the escape to their own trap, but they're trying to keep their trap escape secret so that they can escape themselves, right? So it's all about an exchange of information within the team.
Okay.
Right?
How long can I last in this room without giving away my shit?
Right. Yeah. Dude, do a Sisu kill where like the room has all the oxygen sucked out of it and somebody slices someone else's throat to breathe enough to get out through the door. Listen, hell yeah. I can't even write a good room. I just want to write a killer character.
Oh god. Yeah. It's infinitely remakeable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, what about killed by sound? Like the speakers in the wall and the decibels blast up until it's just like vibrating the flesh off your bones.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually going to go in the opposite direction where it's completely soundproof, because if you're in a soundproof room for too long, you do start to trip.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Because then your whole thought process is like leaving you. You can't talk. You can't. It's like it's a complete void. You know.
Yeah. That reminds me.
You start to trip out, and like your thought processes are like.
It's like a
fucked up. You can't concentrate properly.
Yeah.
It's like a sensory deprivation chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah. That reminds me the best.
But the difference is sensory deprivation is for meditation, not I'm going to die and need to get out.
The opposite of meditation.
Yeah. That reminds me, the best room in the original film is definitely the sound room.
Yeah.
Yeah, where everybody has to be quiet, otherwise the blades come up and slice everything.
And then Kazan accidentally does like one of his like nervous sounds.
Yeah, that's definitely the best scene I think in the whole film.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's their sorcerer sequence, right?
Oh yeah.
Every one of these movies needs a sorcerer sequence.
Just stay so quiet.
Dude.
Don't say a thing. Yeah.
Asshole like titanium in a room like that too. Oh my god, I'd be beside myself.
Well, if you wanted some comedic relief, you could have everyone go through perfectly, and then the one last person just farts.
Yeah, really dramatic.
Not even like Kazan with his noise, or like the other guy how he drops his boot. Just let one rip.
Right.
And be like,
oops. Played up super dramatic too, like it's a character we all love.
Like,
That'll be.
I'm lactose intolerant. The last thing I ate was a block of cheese.
That'll be in Scary Movie 11, whenever the hell that comes.
Oh my god. Yeah, we do need another one of those. Dude, we need somebody to come out and parody some of these A24 films. Come on. That would be funny, wouldn't it?
Jesus. Oh, God. All right, we're kind of going in circles with this.
Listen, there's only so much cube. I think we reached the end coordinates, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
solved the Rubik's Cube.
Yes, we did. So yeah, these are two decent movies. I think that they both have their strengths, both have their weaknesses. See Hypercube if you want more crazy kills, and it's sounding like Skip Cube 0 is what you're saying.
I would straight up skip Cube 0. Yeah.
Is it even a horror movie? Because what you're describing just sounds like just a office board meeting.
It's very goofy. Like it's very it reminds me of like a Bible, like it feels like Bible Man. It feels like just kind of a low budget, like just stuff is being added for being added sake. Like I'm trying to even remember any of the kills from it, if I'm being honest. Like I think they just repeat a bunch of them from the first one because it's technically the same cube. So like
maybe because they had the location and the set already, and they said, you know what, let's just reuse it. Let's just make money off of it.
Listen, your mileage may vary. If you love the Cube movies, you probably love Cube 0, and you know what? More power to you.
Yeah, whatever works for you.
I'd say as far as these two go, though, I think the original is definitely in that, like, if you like violent horror, this is a cult classic to check out. And then I don't know, I might actually go watch this remake. I might have convinced initially walking into the episode, I was going to be like, it's all right. I could just watch the first one just as easy. But now I'm kind of like interested in the remake.
I was about to say, if I look back on it, knowing what I know now, it's a completely different movie when you really look at it.
Mm-hmm.
If you hyperfixate on the woman's actions more so, it makes it a whole other movie.
Yeah, it's true. All right, so I'll announce our next episode. We're doing Insomnia.
But I have.
We just had a Chris Nolan movie come out, Oppenheimer, which I didn't care for, even though everybody else seems to love it.
Hey, do not besmirch Florence Pugh's titties.
The commie mommy.
The commie mommy, that's right.
She's great. I wish she was in the movie for more than 10 minutes.
I know.
That was a lie.
Dude.
Yeah. Florence Pugh is a lead actress in this film, so that was a fucking lie.
I'm just more upset that Josh Peck didn't look out the window and go, Megan.
Wow. Dude, Insomnia I'm excited for. We haven't been able to talk about Robin Williams on any of our podcasts in a hot minute.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. You say Josh Peck, you mean Josh Hartnett?
No, Josh Peck's in the fucking movie too, buddy. He's the one that lights the bomb off for Oppenheimer in the.
Oh shit! Oh, that's right. Fuck.
Dude, everybody was in that fucking movie.
Burnett is daddy.
Oh my god, is he back?
He aged like wine, dude.
Dude,
man, what the fuck?
He's also one of the new episodes of Black Mirror.
Oh, that's right, with Jesse Pinkman himself.
Yeah.
That was honestly the only good episode of the new season.
I've not watched any of them.
Is it that bad?
It was the only good episode. It was with him in it, and it was really good. But the other episodes were like, ugh.
I think Black Mirror's got to the point where reality is worse, and so they can't come up with premises that we don't go, well, that's just already happening.
Yeah. Like we I think
the one with those two in it was really good.
Yeah.
It's something that isn't like reality based or could happen.
Yeah.
At least not yet. And it was just really good. And he was hot as shit in that too, man. But
they need to go back to episodes where it's about a guy fucking a pig on live TV.
Right.
They need more of that. So yeah, we're covering Insomnia for the next one because I've never seen the original. I know that it's a remake, but I've never seen the original. So
I have not either. This is going to be an adventure.
Yeah. So
the only insomnia I know is what I currently suffer from.
Yeah, you look like you're about to fall asleep. So we're gonna go ahead and end pretty soon. So
yay, no sleep for a week.
Yeah. So all right, thanks guys. Thank you, appreciate it. We're good. It's good to be back for season 6.
We're back, baby.
Yes. And with that, good night.
Bye, everybody.
No.